Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Some Digits Are Tastier. Now this is actually the puzzle that I wanted to feature on Sunday morning, because this is a 2-star difficulty rated puzzle, and I'm hoping it's not too difficult for a Sunday evening now. Now, I love the concept. This is a new variant rule. It plays with the idea that some digits are actually tastier, and of course Sleuth is experimenting here to find out himself by cooking them all up. Somehow, if you cook up the digit, it will actually taste different despite using the same ingredients. You also can see like a ladybird that's crawling in the corner, quite relevant for today's puzzle, where the ladybirds are the ones that are making decisions about which digit is tastier. Now, if you're feeling confused about everything that I've just described, don't worry about it. We're going to take a look at the rules now, and hopefully we'll clear absolutely everything up. Let's get on. So, Some Digits Are Tastier by Michael Lefkowitz. And you can see there's a bunch of ladybirds there that I've referenced earlier. Rules-wise, normal Sudoku rules apply. Remember, this is a 6x6 Sudoku, so it's only the digits 1 to 6 once each in every row, every column, and every 2x3 box. Then we have the KROPKI pairs. Digits separated by a white dot have adjacent values. So if this cell here is a 2, this would have to be 1 or 3 so that they are consecutive, adjacent, whichever language you prefer. Digits separated by a black dot have values in a 2-to-1 ratio. So if this cell here is a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4 so that one cell is double the other. No mention of negative constraints, so I'm going to assume it doesn't apply. That means a 2 with a 4 in here, they're clearly in a 2-to-1 ratio, no black dot, not a problem. 2 and 3 in here, no white dot, and they're consecutive, also not a problem. Right, let's clear the deck a bit, so we can actually see the ladybirds that are in here. Ladybirds, I could call them ladybugs, okay. The ladybugs have secret rankings of digits from tastiest to least tasty. And they always point to the tastier of the two digits. I think the language here to pay attention to is secret ranking. So it doesn't necessarily, like, we shouldn't have to treat these like a greater than symbol. For all we know, 1 is tastier than 4, which is tastier than 3, which is tastier than 6, tastier than 5, tastier than 2. And that's their preferred ranking. So we're going to have to sort of play this a bit more carefully than just assuming it's like a greater than symbol. And then they always point to the tastier of the two digits. You can see all of these ladybugs are essentially sitting between two digits. Let's say it's a 3 and a 2. All that's saying is that the 3 happens to be tastier than the 2, and then I guess it would be consistent throughout the entire puzzle. Interesting. Right. Rather than sort of having to think about it now and starting to solve it, first I would invite you to do the same. If you want to sample the tasty digits, I guess rescue them from the ladybugs who are trying to feast on them. Link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. And I'm kind of hoping this is going to be an appropriate puzzle for a Sunday evening, as opposed to I'm leaving you all guys heading off to work with frustrated. Sorry, I should think out loud. So first thing that is occurring to me is, well, I was already looking at ladybugs, but I guess because I've looked at the black KROPKI dots and white KROPKI dots, and I thought this is not very useful. You can see that these are all the other variant rules. And they really don't tell us a lot on their own. Yes, a 2 in here would be 1 or 4, but I mean, I could do 1, 2, I could do 2, 4, I could even do 3, 6. The only thing the black KROPKI dot is telling me is that there is no 5 on here. So they're not exactly restricted enough. And the white dots are even worse. So I'm kind of moving on already and thinking we're going to have to think about the ladybugs. And I'm probably going to use letters. Yeah, I think I'm going to use letters. You know me, once I get to beyond like 3, 4 colors, I tend to struggle, so I am going to use letters. Right. So, A, least, not very tasty. B, slightly more tasty. C, even tastier. And then D, fantastically tasty. And I'm starting with this corner because it's 4 ladybugs. I'm hoping that it'll have a bit more interaction. The others that are catching my attention are all of these, because they're also like quite big, 3 cells. Now they're useful for one reason. I mean, I thought it was obvious, but I should state it. Because they are increasing in tastiness, I can't have the same digits, same letters. For example, even though Sudoku allows me to have a D in here, what it's now saying is that C is tastier than D, but this ladybug, for whatever reason, thinks D is tastier than C. And I'm pretty sure they have a secret ranking like amongst themselves. It's not just, one ladybug has some random ranking, so they have to be different. Right, what are these letters then? Right, so a bit of Sudoku. So the rest of these... Right, here's a much better conclusion. I'm making this hard. C and D are tastier than B and A. This cell can't be A or B, Sudoku. Presumably it could be C or D, isn't it? What's wrong with C? That would be D, that would be E, and then or F. Not very useful. Hang on, where was I going with this? I was saying that this can't be C or D, but why am I saying that? If it is C or D, well, these are now tastier than C or D, which means they're not A or B. They would have to be E and F. And then these two cells are A and B, and essentially we've kind of established a pecking order of some sort, where A and B are the least tasty. And yeah, there you go. Here's something. A and B are the least tasty digits. What's less tastier than them? Well, it's not A or B. C and D are tastier, and E and F are clearly tastier. They're tastier than C and D. So that breaks. Right, so my initial instinct, that's correct. That is not C or D. That is E or F. And this can't be C or D. So this is A, B, E, or F. I mean, the entire row is. Like, may as well just quickly do that. But obviously they're different. So I'm actually going to assign this F. And therefore these are not Fs. And then one of these two cells is F. Again, obviously you can't be tastier than yourself. You can't be tastier than some letter and then, that letter being tastier than you. So, F in here removes all of these Fs. This becomes C, D, and E. And this is now interesting if I can reason about it. So you can see that F is less tasty than A, B. So, and potentially E, but I mean, can't say that for certain. If that's F and that's E, that looks fine. And because we don't have an order in here yet, A and B could be tastier than E, for all we know. So if it is as F, this would be E. Right, let's try that again. If that's F, remember, F less tasty than A and B, therefore no way it's tastier than C and D, it would have to be an E, which looks like a reasonably solid conclusion. If this is A or B, well, this is not C or D again, because it would have to be an E, since, A and B are less tasty than C and D. So in both scenarios, this is E, except the last scenario where this is E, and now we're saying that E is the most tasty letter with C and D on top. Interesting. Let's see if we can kind of reason about this a bit. Well, essentially it removes E from all of these, that becomes F. These become A, B, E, presumably, yeah. That can't be B, that would have to be A or E. And essentially, we'd know with the order of these, this would be B, this would be A, this would be F. So, I guess what I'm saying is that can't be A, because A is the second most tasty. We've got essentially like a pecking order, F, A, B, C, D, and then E. So this would have to be E. This is not A or E. This would be B. This would be A. Right, so far I'm not breaking it. That's a problem. Then I'm okay here. What about what's going on in there? Let's just think about that quickly. C, D, F, not F. That would be C or D. Yeah, I'm not seeing how this breaks. Right, let's rewind a bit. I don't want to go down the bifurcation route, and this is clearly leading me down. So what I think I need to do is somehow try and make some more clever deductions. So when this was AB, this was all working. Then obviously, because we know the pecking order, that would be B, that would be A. What if there is an E in here? So essentially, none of these would be E. This wouldn't be F because we're saying E and whatever the other letter is tastier than F. So I think I couldn't put an F in here. So essentially, I'd have Abe, I would have F. This would have to be E because it's the less tasty digit than A or B. And then this would be CD. And then, of course, if this is CD, I mean, suddenly D is the tastiest. This would be C, this would be D. How can I resolve this? What am I missing? Right, let's just pencil mark a bit better. C, D, and E. No Fs. We know that. Could be F, but only if it's E. And if it's A, B, it's E. We seem to be always coming to this decision. What else is going on here? One of A and B is in there, of course. It can't be a double E. How are we doing for time? Coming up to 10 minutes and not a single digit. C, D, E. Essentially, we definitely have A and B up here with one of C, D, and E. Whichever one it is in there. Right, okay, so if this is F, this would be E, and E is less tasty than F, and therefore this would have to be AB. So F, E, AB, E, and it's smooth sailing from here. If E is then in here, I think I've broken the puzzle. Yeah, I think I have. So you see, if E's in there, it's more tasty than F. And essentially, we're left with all of these are tastier than F. So F wouldn't be a possibility anymore. And in general, we're looking at pretty tasty things that are now suddenly less tasty than A, B, and E. Because A and B are definitely less than C and D. The only option would be that E is more tasty than C and D. That's the only option. But regardless, I think what I'm saying now is this is always AB. Yeah, no Fs. If I have an E in here, well, I would remove the F because F is less tasty than all of these options. And then I'm only left with tastier things over here, other than E and CD. So therefore that would be E. This would always be AB. So this is always be A in this order. I'll take that. That means this is not A or B. I'm going to need to reinsert the F. The F could still be tastier than E, and the E could still be tastier than C or D. So we still haven't resolved that dilemma. We just know that we need to resolve it somehow. Right. So if this is E, no, this is not the way. Where do I go from here? I mean, this is not C, sorry, not C, not B, C, D. This is A, E, F. I mean, it's so hard to link these now to everything that's going on in here. Maybe it's these three that are going to help me resolve this too. What about this one? I haven't really thought enough about it. So remember, there were two possibilities. E being tastiest is in essence kind of what we're saying, or D being tastiest. Now, I think I really needed colors, not letters for this one. Let's have a think about this. Purple, blue. This is purple or A. Sorry, purple or A, it's not blue. This is B or purple. And this is A, B or purple again. Then we have blue in here and CD. And that's clearly not F, so, but this could be blue. That helps, that helps. Right, that helps. Why does that help? So purple is either F or E. Just keep that in mind. Now, if it's E, we've established that it's pretty tasty because it's tastier than C or D. But then this would be CD. Now, the other possibility is that this is F, in which case this would be E, because, you know, F is less tasty than A, B, and therefore C, D. This would be E. And E would be the least tasty thing, and again, this wouldn't be E. So this is never E. It's CD. Fascinating. I really was hoping that we would resolve this by now and therefore would be able to make a bit of progress, but it's proving very tricky. So not A, not F. If this can't be E either, because either E is tastier than C and D, or it's the least tasty digit. So this is not E either. So this could be D, this could be C, or this could be C and this would be B. And then there's tons of options by the time we get here, so not very helpful. Right, so A in here would require two cells that are less tasty, and therefore it would be F and then E in this order, if that's A. It can never be F, because F is the second, at best, the second least tasty digit. If that's F and that's E, it would be the second best. Otherwise, it's the least tasty. So that, to have two tastier digits is never going to happen. That's not F. And then the other possibility is that E is very tasty, tastier than C and D, and then we have tons of options again. How many options? So E in here, well, it's not C or B. Technically, I could do D, but I could also do A. I couldn't do A in here. If that's E, essentially not C, and obviously not D, because D would be the second tastiest one to get to here. So what would this be? If this is E, best case scenario, give us the most amount of space, this would be D. Yeah, I can get away with putting C, B, F. Not learning much here. Right, last ladybug. I mean, this ladybug, hang on, B and C. If that's C, I mean, that couldn't be a B in any option. So this would have to be A, F, or in one possibility, E, if E is the least tasty. C could be D, D would have to be E, and if it's E, it means it's the least tasty one, and therefore that would be E. But then what would be here? I don't know. Too many options. I don't want to pencil mark that. I need to resolve this. Sorry about this. This is not the Sunday evening puzzle I was kind of hoping for. Trying to spot. So my gut reaction is E is the least tasty one. And what I'm trying to find is, how do I prove that? So I mean, like a whole bunch of things just like fall into place immediately. That would become A, F, E, F, E, that would be C, that would be D. It's just like an avalanche of a solution. Now, if E is genuinely tasted in C or D, how is it, where does it break? I'm kind of struggling to see that. We kind of need to follow the purple around the grid, I think. That's what we're not doing. You see, this purple is either the second least tasty or the most tasty. And they're so far apart that I just like, it's incredible that like it's not easy to resolve. So if this is the second least tasty, that would be F. That would be F. And again, things will fall into place. If it is the tastiest, that would be E. And then neither of these would be here. That would be E again. E would have to be in one of these two cells. Can't be neither of these. Would have to be one of these two cells. Would have to be one of these two cells. There we go. Right, so use Sudoku. When you get stuck, use Sudoku. That's just like the general rule. If that's E, it's very tasty. It's the tastiest thing that's kind of out there. It's tastier than C and D. Well, not C and D, one of C or D. And essentially, because it's so tasty, it can't be less tasty than B, or essentially, if this is not B, this would be C and D. I've just demonstrated that's like an oxymoron here. So that can't be E. These are not E. E would be down here. Take a look at what that does. That can't be E. E can't be less tasty than A, so none of these would be E. This would be E. These two would be E, and then this would have to be E. So it almost certainly, in all cases, this is always D. For a second, I thought I actually resolved it, and I haven't. So E is either least tasty or second tastiest. I really thought I had it for a second. That would be E again. Bit of a shame. What's interesting is that that couldn't be an E then because of the Sudoku that we did. And if that's F, that was E, that's also not E. So this is never E either. This is C or D, this is always D. This is a hard puzzle. This is way harder than I was expecting. So F with E, and remember the other possibility would be C. Because if the E's tasty, well, we know that it would have to end up in here with a D above it, so that couldn't be a D. So this is a CE pair. That's a D. And D is definitely the tastiest, so it's not down here. That's D again. Not D's, not D, D, D. We're done with D's. A, B, C, E, not E. B can only be in here. This would be A or F. AF means that's not F, that's C and E. C is tastier than both A and F, so we're not learning much from here. The B might be interesting. Well, no C here. A and F, they're both like not very tasty. Can't be B. B is tastier than both of them. Only place, and this is A and F, that gives me E. There we go. Goodness me, E can't be the second tastiest anymore. And therefore that's not E, that's A, that's F, that's B. Finally cracked. Wow. That F gave me A, F. I broke it. How did I break it? A and F. Where does B go? So there was a B in here, but B is less tasty than all of these. So that's not B. That gives me A and F. That gives me B. Why can't this be B? Must be like some kind of typo in here. Let's just, sorry, I'm going to clear all of this up now. A, B, E, F, not B, not B. That's the only place for a B. Can't be F. A and F, that has to be E. That has to be A. That has to be F. That has to be A, F, not A. That's E and F. Right, we know now that E is less tasty than F. There we go. F, E, C, E, C, F, E. These are A and, yeah, that's A, that's C. That's F. That's C. And what is that? E. And I think we have kind of a solution. Right, black KROPKI dots. We've got 3 different digits with 1 that's joining them. So C has to be 2. Essentially 1, 2, 4. D is 1 or 4. F is 1 or 4 too. So we've got 1, 2, and 4 down. Then we have 2 digits that are consecutive, and it can't be a 3, it's 5 and 6. And the 5 or 6 has to be consecutive with 1 or 4. It is definitely the 5. So B is 5, A is 6, F is 4, D is 1. I've not made any mistakes. E is 3. Wow. Wow. That was hard work. That was very hard work. Worth the solve. Worth the solve. But yeah, I really wish I solved it for Sunday morning now. I'm really wondering how you guys got on. Obviously, if you bifurcated around here, this would be so much easier. I can't believe that it took us all the way down there to actually resolve this conflict. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and video. See you back for the next one. Bye-bye for now.